Top 10 First Date Ideas. There's no way around it, even under the best of circumstances, first dates are a nerve-wracking proposition for everyone involved. For one, you want to look your best. You have to wear a nice outfit, groom yourself, smell nice, and potentially tidy up your place, depending on whether there's a chance your date will get to see it at the end of the evening. Then you have to show up on time. Once you're there, you have to be your wittiest, most impressive self. Make your date laugh, but don't dominate the conversation. Ask your date questions, but don't act like an interrogator. Loosen up, but don't go too wild. Be yourself, but don't expose anything too out there. So choose wisely, play your cards right and show up on time, and you could be guaranteeing yourself not only a great time with your date, but a chance at a lot of future dates, too. 10 things to do on a first date. Number 1, go thrift shopping. Hit up a couple of thrift stores and search for some hidden treasures. This is a great way to get a sense of your date's style and sense of humor. And no matter how the date goes, you could end up going home with some cool stuff. Number 2, bowling. Bowling is a good balance between a novel date idea and one that isn't too difficult to pull off. It's fun, kinda silly, and provides an opportunity for physical contact. Here, let me help you, while laughing at each other's form. There's a couple of potential downsides with bowling, though. One is that your date might not exactly be psyched about the idea of a date that requires a physical performance, even one as low stakes as bowling. The second is that it takes a bit of organization with finding a bowling alley, reserving a lane and renting some bowling shoes, nothing too arduous, but bear it in mind. However, if you're both a fan of the idea, get the organization down pat, you're in for a fun evening. Purchase some snacks and drinks and enjoy watching your date hurl heavy balls down a lane. Number 3, dinner at a restaurant. Dinner on a first date is unfussy enough that it won't overwhelm her, assuming you choose the right venue, but it also demonstrates a higher level of commitment to the date than drinks at a bar or coffee. You should be aiming to take your date to a nice restaurant, but there's no need to go overboard with a Michelin star number. A small, family-run Italian restaurant or a buzzy Korean grill is about the level you should be aiming for: intimate, good food, and an atmosphere that's not too stuffy or overblown. Number 4, get a spa treatment. It's way too early for a couple's rubdown, but a side-by-side manicure or chair massage, you can do. It'll ease any nerves that you or your date have about meeting, making for a much more relaxed conversation. You'll also both get the satisfaction of doing something nice for yourself. Number 5, local theme park, carnival. Fairs, festivals, and amusement parks are a notch above a dinner or bowling date in terms of intensity, but they're an enjoyable date to pull off once you decide to go for it. The main increase in difficulty level is due to the increased time commitment and difficulty of bailing early. Meaning, if you've committed to a theme park or carnival, you can't exactly leave after an hour if the chemistry isn't as strong as you'd hoped. In fact, you're probably looking at around half a day. You show up, buy the tickets, and stroll around the various stands and rides, stopping in between for food and drink. Even if you don't think your date is the woman of your dreams, it's still a good excuse to let out your inner kid and have a silly, fun time. Number 6, picnic in a park. Sure, the saying "a walk in the park" is used to connote a breezy, simple good time, but organizing a picnic in a park for a first date is a fairly sophisticated operation. You'll need to prep the food ahead of time, and this may involve some cooking, and you'll need to make sure you've chosen a fine day for your date, too. This is also a date idea where your conversation skills are going to need to be on point, because unlike with bowling or a theme park, there's nothing else to provide the entertainment for you, short of the occasional bit of people and pet watching. Number 7, museum, art gallery. A date at a museum or art gallery is bound to score you culture vulture points, but you have to do some research for this one, upping the difficulty ladder. You'll need to look into which exhibitions are worth visiting, potentially reading up on the artist or curator if you want to be really impressive. Number 8, cooking class. Another notch up the difficulty ladder is the cooking class first date, which requires a new level of organization and time commitment. Firstly, you'll need to find a class in your area that's pitched at the right level for both of you, and you'll also need to clear up any allergies or dietary requirements your date has at the outset. This is another one that you won't be able to bail out of if the date isn't going as well as you expected, so there's a high level of commitment here as well. Number 9, dancing. Dancing of any kind is laborious for those among us who lack coordination and rhythm, but dancing with your date is a great way to kick things off on a physical note right from the beginning. There's a saying that dancing is like sex standing up, And that's a pretty hot note to start the date on, so even if you're not a natural on the dance floor, it's worth giving lessons a go. The difficulty level is high as you're doing a specific type of dancing you may not be very good at. You have to find a studio or bar that's putting on lessons, and then you have to stomach the cringe-worthy first few steps while appearing cool and aloof in front of each other. Number 10. An extreme outdoor adventure. For the highest difficulty level of first date, you could take your date bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, or even skydiving. These are obviously next-level date ideas that will get you 100% on the originality score, but it's likely to overwhelm all but the most spontaneous and adventurous of women, so make sure you know your date is that type of person first. Apart from being an insane first date on almost every level, extreme sports tend to be expensive and require plenty of organization, so make sure you're looking into your option well ahead of time. If you pull it off, though, we'll take our hats off to you. It's likely to be a story you tell your future grandkids. That brings us to the end of this video. See you in the next one.